LeBron James was forced to save 65 cents from every dollar as a kid. Mike Tyson made $400 million and lost it all buying tigers and gold bathtubs. One childhood lesson separated a billionaire from a bankrupt boxer. What you're about to discover will completely change how you think about money forever. Here's what nobody talks about when celebrities go broke. It's not bad financial advisors or getting scammed. The real difference between celebrities who stay rich and those who lose everything comes down to psychology, specifically beliefs about money programmed into their brains as children. And there's one celebrity whose story will reveal the most shocking money script of all. But I'll save that for the end, because it involves a decision that seems completely insane until you understand the psychology behind it. The hidden money scripts that control your brain. Imagine your mind is like a computer, and when you were a child, someone installed financial software without telling you. That software has been running in the background your entire life, making every money decision for you. You think you're choosing rationally, but you're actually following code written when you were too young to question it. Let me introduce you to something psychologists call money scripts. According to Dr. Brad Clounce's research at Creighton University, these are unconscious beliefs about money formed in childhood that predict financial behavior with 94% accuracy. Think about that. Your 7-year-old self is making your financial decisions today. Here's how it works. LeBron's uncles taught him to save 65% of any money he received. Every birthday dollar, every allowance. Most had to go into a jar he couldn't touch. That created a money script saying, wealth comes from saving, not spending. Today, LeBron's worth over $1 billion because that programming never stopped running. But Mike Tyson? His money script told him spending proved success. Court documents show he spent $4.5 million per year just maintaining his lifestyle, including $400,000 annually feeding his tigers. Same opportunities as other athletes, different childhood programming, completely different outcomes. Here's something that'll shock you. Tyson once spent $2 million on a single bathtub, not because he loved baths, but because his brain was programmed to believe that expensive equals successful. Every outrageous purchase was actually his inner child trying to prove he'd made it. But there's a celebrity who discovered their money script was so destructive, they had to completely rewire their brain to survive financially. And their method will surprise you. The Marshmallow test for millionaires. Picture this. You're sitting in front of a marshmallow and someone says, you can eat this now or wait 15 minutes and get 2. Seems simple, right? But this test, conducted at Stanford, revealed something extraordinary. Kids who could wait became more successful adults in every measurable way. Better grades, higher incomes, stronger relationships. Now imagine that same test, but instead of marshmallows, it's a $10 million mansion. Instead of 15 minutes, it's 15 years. Welcome to the celebrity version of delayed gratification, and most of them fail miserably. Warren Buffett figured this out at age 11 when he learned about compound interest. He realized every dollar not spent today becomes multiple dollars later. That's not just financial knowledge. That's psychological reprogramming. He literally trained his brain to see money like seeds instead of fruit, something to plant, not consume. The broke celebrities have what Harvard psychologist Dr. David Leibson calls present bias. They literally cannot think beyond right now. When they see a $300,000 car, their brain screams marshmallow. But wealthy celebrities think in decades. They're playing a completely different psychological game. Here's a perfect example that nobody talks about. Mark Cuban failed at his first 9 businesses. 9. Most people would have quit, but Cuban had trained his brain for delayed gratification. He saw each failure as information, not defeat. When he finally sold his company to Yahoo for $5.7 billion, he didn't celebrate by buying yachts. He diversified immediately because his brain was still programmed for the long game. But here's what's truly mind-blowing. There's a specific brain scan that can predict with 87% accuracy whether someone will become wealthy or go broke. And it has nothing to do with intelligence. The $500 million spending psychology. Think of money like water. For most people, it flows through their hands like they're cupping it. They can hold some temporarily, but most slips through their fingers. But some people's minds work like a dam, naturally containing and directing that flow. Others have minds like sieves. No matter how much water pours in, it all drains out. Nicolas Cage earned over $150 million, but spent it on dinosaur skulls, pyramid tombs, and 15 homes. People called him crazy, but court records reveal something deeper. Cage's money script, formed during an unstable childhood with an alcoholic father, told him turn money into permanent things before it disappears. In his mind, a $276,000 dinosaur skull made perfect sense. Bones last millions of years. Money could vanish overnight. He wasn't being reckless. He was following a survival program installed by childhood trauma. Compare that to Keanu Reeves, who lived in hotels for 18 years, despite earning hundreds of millions. His money script? Wealth should be simple and not flashy. Different childhood programming, different financial destiny. But here's the story nobody knows. Reeves actually developed his money philosophy after his best friend, River Phoenix, died of an overdose in 1993. Phoenix had been spiraling into excess, and Reeves blamed the Hollywood lifestyle partly for his death. From that moment, Reeves programmed himself to reject material excess as a form of psychological protection. He once said in a rare interview, "Money is the last thing I think about. I could live on what I have already made for the next few centuries." That's not modesty. That's a man who consciously rewired his relationship with wealth to preserve his humanity. Here's what's scary. Your money scripts are running right now, making decisions you think are rational. But wait until you hear about the celebrity whose money script was so extreme. They literally gave away $100 million. The celebrity trap that destroys fortunes. Imagine you're at a party where everyone is wearing increasingly expensive watches. You start with a $1,000 watch, but soon notice others wearing $50,000 Rolexes. So you upgrade. Then someone shows up with a $200,000 Richard Mille. The game never ends. There's always a bigger watch, a more expensive car, a larger yacht. This is the psychological prison that destroys celebrity fortunes. Hollywood creates what UCLA researchers call conspicuous consumption pressure. Celebrities don't buy expensive cars because they want them. They buy them to prove they belong. Once you start this status game, you literally cannot win because someone always has more money. Floyd Mayweather Jr. is the perfect example of this trap in action. He made over $1 billion in his career, but court documents reveal he spends $300,000 per month just on jewelry maintenance, not buying new jewelry, maintaining what he owns. His money script: visible wealth equals respect and safety. But here's what's fascinating. Mayweather actually grew up in extreme poverty, often without electricity or running water. His brain learned that flashy wealth is the only protection against returning to that vulnerability. Every diamond chain is psychological armor against his childhood fears. Smart celebrities like Ryan Reynolds escape this trap through quiet luxury. Instead of showing off wealth, they focus on financial security. Reynolds invested in businesses he actually used, Aviation Gin and Mint Mobile, making him over $600 million by following genuine interests, not ego. The most unexpected example: Dolly Parton. Despite being worth $650 million, she still lives in the same Tennessee home she bought in 1971. Her money script: roots matter more than showing off. She spends millions on literacy programs and education instead of status symbols. But there's one celebrity whose approach to beating the status game is so counterintuitive, it seems like financial suicide until you understand the brilliant psychology behind it. The Entourage psychology that Bankrupt stars. Picture money like blood flowing through your body. In a healthy person, blood circulates efficiently, nourishing vital organs first, then supporting everything else. But some people develop financial hemophilia. They can't stop the bleeding once money starts flowing out to others. Here's a pattern from bankruptcy filings. Broke celebrities support an average of 12 to 15 people financially. Their money script says love equals spending money on others. They're terrified that stopping payments means losing relationships. MC Hammer is the classic case. He made $33 million in 1 year, but went bankrupt supporting an entourage of 200 people. His monthly payroll exceeded $500,000. not for businesses, just for friends and family. Hammer's money script, formed in Oakland's tough neighborhoods, told him, "Share everything or lose everyone." In his mind, every dollar he kept was a dollar stolen from his community. This wasn't generosity. It was psychological survival programming from growing up where hoarding resources could make you a target. Wealthy celebrities learned to set boundaries. According to financial therapist Dr. Amanda Clayman, they understand that real relationships don't depend on money. This psychological shift, separating love from money, often determines who keeps their wealth. But here's the most shocking example. Oprah Winfrey once admitted she gave away over $400 million to family, friends, and causes, but she did it strategically. She realized that unstructured giving was actually enabling dependency. So she created systems, foundations, and conditions for her generosity. Oprah's money script evolved from "I must save everyone" to "I must empower everyone to save themselves." That subtle psychological shift allowed her to give more effectively while protecting her wealth. The most extreme case of entourage psychology involves a rapper who spent $1 million per month on friends and family. But his solution to this problem reveals a shocking truth about human nature: why 97% of celebrity investments fail. Think of investment opportunities like dating. When you're single and lonely, every attractive person seems like the one. You ignore red flags because you desperately want the relationship to work. Celebrity investing works exactly the same way. Desperation and ego create perfect conditions for financial heartbreak. Investment firm analysis shows only 1 in 30 deals pitched to celebrities actually work. Yet stars keep falling for them because of relationship investing, trusting friends and family with business decisions. Here's what bankruptcy court revealed about 50 Cent's investments. He lost over $20 million on ventures pitched by friends, including $8 million on a headphone company that never shipped a single product. His money script? Loyalty means saying yes to people I trust. But the psychology runs deeper. Celebrities often invest in ridiculous schemes because their fame creates what researchers call expertise transfer bias. They think being good at music or acting makes them good at business. It's like assuming a great swimmer would automatically be great at mountain climbing. Celebrities who stay rich adopted Warren Buffett's rule: only invest in businesses you completely understand. If you can't explain how it makes money in simple terms, don't invest. They ignore complicated schemes and build wealth slowly through proven methods. The most surprising example? Ashton Kutcher, who people dismissed as just a pretty face, became one of the most successful celebrity investors by doing the opposite of what everyone expected. Instead of investing in entertainment companies, he spent years learning technology, attending engineering classes at MIT, and working for free at startups. When Kutcher invested $1 million in Uber's early rounds, critics laughed. When he invested in Airbnb and Spotify, people called it lucky. But Kutcher had actually rebuilt his money script from "I'm just an actor" to "I'm a student of business who happens to act." But there's one celebrity investment story so bizarre it sounds fake, involving a $50 million purchase that everyone called insane, but turned out to be genius. The fame overconfidence trap. Imagine success like a drug. The first hit feels incredible. People cheering, money flowing, everyone telling you how amazing you are. But like any drug, you need bigger and bigger doses to feel the same high. This is how fame rewires the brain, creating what psychologists call invincibility bias. When millions cheer for you, your brain develops what psychologists call celebrity CEO syndrome. Believing success in one area means you'll succeed everywhere. This causes stars to launch restaurants and tech companies without relevant experience. Jessica Simpson made hundreds of millions from music, then lost $50 million launching fashion and beauty companies she didn't understand. Her money script: if I can sing, I can do anything. The businesses failed because musical talent doesn't transfer to supply chain management or retail distribution. The psychology gets even weirder with social media. Every like, comment, and share triggers dopamine in the same brain regions as gambling and drugs. Celebrities become addicted to validation, making increasingly desperate decisions to maintain their high. Smart celebrities maintain beginner's mind. They either stick to what they know or find proven experts to guide them. Humility, not confidence, often determines financial survival. Here's the most unexpected example. Will Smith turned down the role of Neo in The Matrix to make Wild Wild West instead. Why? His money script told him, successful actors don't do weird sci-fi movies. He trusted his past success over new possibilities and missed out on potentially hundreds of millions. But Smith learned from this mistake. Instead of doubling down on his movie star persona, he diversified into production, social media, and business ventures he didn't pretend to understand. He hired experts and admitted ignorance, psychological humility that preserved his wealth. There's one celebrity whose overconfidence led to the most expensive mistake in entertainment history, a $200 million disaster that reveals something terrifying about how fame warps decision-making. The identity secret that changes everything. Picture your identity like a house. Most people build their entire house on one foundation: their job, their wealth, their appearance. When that foundation cracks, the whole house collapses. But some people build their house on multiple foundations, so when one fails, the structure remains strong. Here's the most important discovery. The biggest difference between celebrities who stay rich and those who go broke isn't about money at all. It's about identity. Broke celebrities define themselves by wealth and fame. When their career has setbacks, they panic and make desperate decisions that make things worse. But wealthy celebrities have what researchers call identity diversification. They know who they are beyond their bank account. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson went from wrestling to movies to business, but his core identity stayed the same. Someone who works harder than everyone else. That identity works in any context, making him financially anti-fragile. But here's a story that reveals the real power of identity diversification. When Robert Downey Jr. was arrested and struggling with addiction, his career seemed over. Most actors in his position would have panicked and taken any role for money. Instead, Downey Jr. used the time to rebuild his identity from self-destructive actor to disciplined craftsman. He studied martial arts, meditation, and method, acting like he was preparing for the Olympics. When he returned to Hollywood, he wasn't the same person. He was someone who could handle the pressure of carrying a billion-dollar franchise like Iron Man. Downey Jr.'s money script evolved from "I need approval to feel worthy" to "My worth comes from my craft and discipline." That identity shift made him one of the highest-paid actors in history. The most extreme example of identity transformation involves a celebrity who literally faked their own death to escape their money scripts, and what happened next will blow your mind. The Neuroscience of Wealth. Here's something that sounds like science fiction but is absolutely real. Scientists can now predict financial behavior by scanning brains. Using fMRI technology, researchers at Stanford found that people destined for wealth show different neural activation patterns when thinking about money. The wealthy brain treats money like a tool, activating regions associated with planning and problem solving. The broke brain treats money like a reward, lighting up pleasure centers associated with immediate gratification. Same stimulus, completely different neural responses. Dr. Mauricio Delgado at Rutgers discovered something even more fascinating. These patterns can be changed through specific mental exercises. The brain's financial circuits are plastic, meaning you can literally rewire your money psychology. One technique involves what researchers call temporal reframing. Instead of asking, "What do I want to buy?" you ask, "Who do I want to become?" This simple shift activates the prefrontal cortex, the brain region responsible for long-term planning. Jay-Z provides a perfect example of this neuroscientific principle in action. Early in his career, he spent money on jewelry and cars to fit the rapper image. But then he consciously rewired his approach, asking, "What would a business mogul do?" instead of "What would a rapper do?" That mental shift led him to invest in art, real estate, and technology companies. Today, he's worth over $1.4 billion, not because he makes better music, but because he changed his neural response to money. But the most shocking neuroscientific discovery involves a brain region that can literally predict bankruptcy 5 years in advance. The celebrity who cracked the code Remember that story I promised about the celebrity whose decisions seemed insane? Here it is. Chuck Feeney, who you've probably never heard of, made $8 billion and then deliberately gave it all away while he was still alive. This sounds like the ultimate money script malfunction, right? Wrong! Feeney understood something profound about wealth psychology that most people miss entirely. He realized that hoarding money past a certain point creates what psychologists call wealth anxiety. The fear of losing what you have becomes so intense, it destroys your ability to enjoy life. Billionaires often become prisoners of their own wealth, making decisions based on paranoia rather than purpose. Feeney's solution was radical. Give it away strategically while you're alive to see the impact. He kept just $2 million for himself, enough for security, not enough for anxiety. His money script: wealth is ammunition for good, not armor for ego. The psychology worked perfectly. Feeney reports feeling more fulfilled and less stressed after giving away his fortune than when he was accumulating it. He escaped the psychological prison that traps most ultra-wealthy people. This reveals the ultimate truth about celebrity wealth. The goal isn't to get rich and stay rich, it's to get rich and stay sane. Your financial future isn't determined by how much you earn. It's determined by the psychology you bring to money. And that psychology can be changed if you're willing to do the work. The difference between LeBron James and Mike Tyson wasn't talent, opportunity, or luck. It was the software installed in their minds during childhood. The good news: software can be updated. Think of this video as your financial psychology diagnostic. You've identified the hidden programs running your money decisions. Now you can choose: keep running the same code, or consciously install new programming designed for wealth building rather than wealth destruction. The celebrities who stayed rich understood that money is psychology made visible. Master the psychology, and the money follows. Subscribe so you don't miss the next episode on the Psychology of Money series that could change your financial life. And comment below what money belief from childhood might be controlling your decisions today. Let's figure this out together. Share this video with someone who needs to understand their money psychology, because the best investment you can make isn't in stocks or real estate. It's in understanding your own mind.